And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, episode 2 of Catching the Curb with Bob Camardo, brought to you by the Curbstone Coaches and, of course, YSN. Bob, this is the second time you've been here. Catch us up from the last time. We talked a little bit the last time about YSU being a little bit heavy this time of year, which is good because there's a lot of things going on at Youngstown State University that people should be aware of. But since the last time, talk to us about kind of who the speakers were and how it went for you.
Well, sure, DJ, and thanks for having me again. I appreciate it. The very first meeting that we had was on September 11th, and Ron Strollo, the AD, gave us an overview of the YSU athletic situation, what's going on at the time, and he's always very well received. Doug Phillips, the head football coach, was the second week, and of course he's very entertaining. He's very positive, and obviously they're coming off a big win this past Saturday, which is great. Then we had the YSU women's tennis team who won the Horizon League championship this past spring. We had the soccer coach, and then the volleyball coach, Aline A. Scott, was there yesterday. So the first 5 weeks were, of course, as I had mentioned to you before, YSU heavy, but we've got some upcoming ones that are going to be really interesting here in the next month and a half or so.
Well, we'll get to those in just a minute. So let's talk about, start with Mr. Strollo, who does such an amazing job with YSU athletics across the whole board, and being the athletic director in today's day and age, not an easy feat at all. When you had him and he talked, what was kind of the outline of what he discussed?
He basically was talking about, he's very proud of the grade point average, the cumulative grade point average of the student athletes at YSU. I mean, it's really, really high compared to schools of our size.
Yeah.
And the other thing I think he's done a great job with, I was talking yesterday to somebody that we get to meet all these head coaches that come in, with Curbstone and from me being down the university a lot. And there's not one of them that I don't like. They're all really good people. They're all very personable, and I know that they work a lot of hours, all of them do, and they're a credit to the university. They really are.
What I love is that you have the majority of these coaches coming in, and even though they're different sports and different categories, the overall management of a team is still, and the leadership of a team is still the same. What impresses you the most when you hear these coaches speak? Is it just the way they speak, or the kind of leadership that they provide? What is it?
What impresses me is how much they care about the student athletes, not just on the playing surface, but outside in the classroom and what have you. And most of the coaches that come bring a couple players with them, and they're always very well mannered, very well received. They're good kids. The way the university has structured the support system for them getting the help in the classroom that they need and stuff, especially when they're on the road traveling, playing their respective sports. They've got a great system in place down there. They do a good job.
When you heard Doug talk, Coach Phillips, what were some of the things that really stood out to you?
He is a firm believer in the Bill Belichick. Of course, Bill's not doing all that well right now, but the Bill Belichick method of do your job and block out the outside noise. Don't worry about how many people are in the stands. Don't worry about what's going on in social media. Do your job, play hard, and they have a real brotherhood. I mean, I've been with them as Bellaria has fed them a couple times, and they have a real brotherhood as well. That's a really tight-knit unit. They support each other, and he's got them believing that they're as good as anybody, and the way they played this past Saturday, it's hard to argue that.
And that's the crazy thing is I mean, obviously, I grew up in it. You were there for it when Coach Tressel had national championships, and every year that we didn't win a national championship was a disappointment. Are we trending in that direction again? It feels like it.
Well, I would certainly hope so. I mean, I've been at every national championship game that YSU's played in, and I can't tell you how much fun. Of course, I was a lot younger then too, but how much fun we had, and how the whole nation looked at YSU in the 1AA realm as being the kingpin at that time. And Doug has a lot of Coach Tressel's traits.
Yeah.
Well, he coached under him, so he would. And I think that he really has this program going in the right direction. Now, the one thing that he is doing is he is making sure that he takes a lot of high school kids and developing them as opposed to hitting the portal like Coach Calhoun has.
Yeah.
But he told me when he got hired, we have to get bigger linemen. And if you looked at their linemen then and now, both offensive and defensive, he wasn't lying. He's got them boys bulked up pretty good.
I love it. Seeing the big boys being taken care of. There's nothing better than that. Every quarterback will tell you that as
Absolutely.
well. We have some great speakers coming up the next 3, 4, 5 weeks. Bob, tell us about those.
Well, next Monday, the 16th of October, we have the legendary football coach from Mount Union, Larry Karras. Tony Montana, a well-known official and umpire in the area, knows Larry, and he got him to come and speak to us next Monday. So we're really looking forward to that. I have not met the man, but I'm looking forward to it very much. The 2 weeks after that were set aside for YSU basketball. The 23rd was John Barnes. Now, John has taken a leave of absence from the basketball team, so we're not quite sure how that's going to fill in.
Sure.
But the 30th of October is Jared Calhoun, and there's a guy that has a lot of energy.
Yes, sir.
And I've been to a couple practices, and he thinks that this team can be as good or better than last year's team.
Oh, wow.
They're a lot deeper. They have a lot of kids that can play. They're very athletic. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch.
There's a lot of excitement around YSU as a whole. And you talk to Coach Strollo. I call him Coach Strollo, but you talk to Ron Strollo. And nobody's happier than him because this has been a long time coming. This is a town, naturally, we're here at YSN. I've said from the get-go, this town believes in two things, weather and sports, and I don't know anything about the weather. So when sports is on, this town is hungry for it, and they can't get enough. It's almost like they're salivating 24/7, and when YSU is doing well, this town is doing so much better because everybody backs the Y. When you look at what the potential is and what the ending was last year of the basketball season, and Coach Calhoun is saying that this could be as good, if not better, this year, how excited does that get you?
Well, and you brought it up. If you remember I think it started with the ESPN game on Friday night against Oakland last year. The last 5 or 6 home games, including the Oklahoma State NIT game, that place was just insane. It was packed. It was loud. The students were involved. It was jumping. And that's Coach Calhoun's vision. He wants that to be a regular type event. And I think I can't wait for basketball seasons. I mean, I love football.
Yeah.
But for me, I used to coach basketball. Football is a vehicle to get to basketball. So I think it's going to be a great season. I know that in talking to some of the people at the athletic department, they've already broken all kind of records for Penguin Club membership.
Wow.
For basketball. They're going to try and figure out where to put everybody in that halftime room. But there's a lot of excitement building up toward this season. There really is.
Bob, and I'm sure you've seen it on Sundays. I don't know how big of an NFL guy you are, but Jaleel is making a huge impression at the next level with the Denver Broncos. Got a touchdown last week, almost got a second one. But when you see Penguins that are doing so well professionally, not just on the field, but what our kids are doing in the classroom and then now in the real world, that's got to make you excited as a supporter.
I told anybody who would listen 2 years ago, and I've been going to YSU football games since I started college in 1975, that Jaleel McLaughlin was the best football player, pound for pound, that I ever saw at YSU. And I am not surprised at all at what he's doing. He just needed somebody to give him a chance. And to go from tiny Notre Dame college,
You're right,
to YSU, and then to the NFL has been just a great success story. And if he keeps getting the chances, he will produce. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, I hope he does because I'd put him on my fantasy team from the get-go just because I love the kid.
He is a great kid, too. He really
and to see his mom in the stands, how awesome was that to see after that touchdown? Because that was the kid is quick as a hiccup. And he did it. We saw it every Saturday here at YSU, but obviously now the world's seeing him on the stage in Denver. So that was good to see.
And that's a number of times that I've talked to him over the last few years. He is such a grounded, humble kid, hardworking, and he is very much a family type oriented person. So you're right. It is great to see that his mom in the stands like that.
For those who want to know or want to show up to some of these events, Mondays, what time?
We start at noon. We actually start the buffet at like 11:45 at Avion on the Water on Western Reserve Road, and those people do a great job.
Yes, I do.
And we usually get the program started around 12:15. The speaker will talk for 10-15 minutes. If it's a coach, they bring the players up, let them talk. We always have a question and answer session, and you're out of there by 1 o'clock or so. And the people that have come for the first time have all commented to me how wonderful it is and how much fun they've had. And again, it's on a Monday, so people who work sometimes have a hard time getting there, but we've been very pleased with the attendance so far. It's been up.
I love hearing that. And then how much is it for the buffet?
It's Chuck $15.
$15. That's not bad.
All you can
for
eat.
a good meal.
All you can eat, and you get to see, like I said, a speaker and ask any questions you want, and they always stick around after, and people will come up and do a little BS session with them. So it's really a great event every Monday.
And if people want to join and be a member of Curbstone Coaches, how do they do that?
We have a website, thecurbstonecoaches.org, and we also have a Facebook page. There's information on there as to how to do that. Our membership secretary is Patty Shuley, and she'll be happy to take your money.
Bob, thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping by once again. You and Chuck, always welcome here. And we'll see you next time for Catching the Curb, Part 3.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.